Hey, hello, everyone. Grab your sticks. So I'm sure you all remember the first move in the stick routine that we used to do, right? Okay, so we're going to do that's the forward. We're going to do the reverse too. But let's do it again. I want you to pay attention to what's going on inside. So I'm going to ask you guys to tell me what's going on inside. So, what energy channels are you using? What's the sequencing? And what's the breathing, right? So, we actually went through this a couple of months ago, so hopefully you will remember. So, Jill, give me your read on this.
Uh, well, let's see. Well, here's the funny thing is that it's like I forget sometimes what the difference between the energy channels and the names of, sorry,
Of
the
what?
names of, so like Lee circles, is that the energy channel or is that?
Li, Shu, and Ping are the three dimensions of space. The energy channels are the Daimai, the Renmai, the Dumai, and the Chongmai. There are other channels, but those are the main ones that we use.
Right,
The energy channels are inside the body. The Li, Shu, and Ping are everywhere.
right.
Is
So you
that?
want me to tell you the energy channels or the
Yes. So look, right?
uh,
One,
one,
two, three, four, right? Where is the energy going when you do this? Right? Where is it right now? Where is it right now? Where is it right now? I'm asking you, where is it right now?
well, let's see. That's a good question because um,
Is it in your left ear?
no,
All
It's in the
right,
back.
all right, it's in the back. Where in the back?
Here.
Yeah,
Hang on.
it's down where the stick is. All
oh,
right, in the back. Where's it going when you're doing this? Catherine, you're right, but I'm going to focus on Jill here because I want to see her sweat a little bit. Where is it going like this,
I don't
Jill?
want her to sweat. It's difficult question.
Yes, where is it going?
well, the what I feel like it should be doing is balancing out, is because when you're lifting the stick, you should be kind of like stretching, but
Yes, yes, that's true, but that's kind of the next level of complexity. So I want to start with the really, really simple, basic stuff, right?
okay.
Right now, it's down low. It's actually, it could even be at your root chakra, right? And now it's coming up your back, and where is it going to end up?
Yeah.
It ends up where the stick is in front.
Mhm.
All right. So the simplest way to talk about this, remember that all these descriptions are like illustrations in a medical book. The illustration points you in the right direction, but don't take it literally. When you actually dissect a cadaver, it's going to be very different than what you see in the illustration in a medical book, all right? By the way, have you all ever dissected a cadaver? Kevin has. I have.
Like a human being or just an
Yeah,
animal?
no, a human being.
No,
No,
animal, yes.
you should all take a course in anatomy and do a dissection. Right? It's quite an experience. All right, so you're starting down low. You're in the Mingmen in the back, right? Now, not it doesn't always have to be that way. It just happens to be that way for this particular move, right? Because you're starting down in the lumbar area in the back. And now you're coming up and you're coming up to the Tanjong point in the center of the chest. This is every time. Hold on a second. Every time you do this, you're going to do that. All right? It doesn't matter whether you've got a stick or not. We're going to work with the stick right now because it makes it a little easier. You can kind of see what's going on. And then we're going to move into the first move of the form. And what we're doing is trying to establish the chi path. Don't put your stick away, you're going to need it again. All right? What we're trying to establish is the chi path. What is the path of the chi? Your mind, it's like trying to drive somewhere. You have to know where you're going. All right? So, this is a simplified version. You start at the Mingmen. Right? You come up to the Tanjong. Turn, drop. What happens when you drop?
Drop here.
Yes, you drop back into the Mingmen. Okay, so it's a big circle. Right? It comes up, it goes down, and then you push, which means it's coming out your arms, and now back to the Mingmen and back. Tanjong, Mingmen, push. So that's a very simple version of the chi path. Now, the truth is that the chi path is always more complex than that because it's not just in an isolated part of the body. So you could say this path that we just described here is kind of the heart of the action. But if you just go with that map, you're not including your whole body. You're not including your mind. You're not including your feet. Right? You're just focusing on this middle part. So really, you want to include everything. Right? So I'm going to do this move. We're getting really bright sun from the solar tube that we had installed here. So look how bleached out my face is looking now. I'm going to have to get what's called a linear actuator, which is basically a piston that goes up and down and mounted on that thing, so I can close that. Um, but you think about this. it really, you're going to do something, it's going to start in your mind. And then it's going to go from your mind to the center of your physical body because everything depends on the center. All right? So it's going to go from the mind to the center of the body, and then it's going to go down to the bottom of the feet, and particularly it's going to go to the bottom of the foot that's carrying your weight. And then it's going to come back up to the dantian, in this case to the back of the dantian. It isn't it. It's not like it always has to be the back. It can be to the front, but this one happens to be to the back. All right. Then it's going to go up to the tanzhong, and then it's going to go back down to the mingmen. So look at what that does. It goes down. It comes back up, it goes back down again. It's a loop. It's actually two loops, right? It's exactly, it's a version of this spring. It's not, that's like a dozen loops. It's not a dozen, it's just two. But that's the silk reeling. If you don't know about this, you won't practice it. If you don't practice it, you won't get good at it so that it's just second nature. But if you think about it, like I'm watching Catherine do it right now, it's very natural movement. And it's strong movement because it's right to the point. There's not a lot of wasted motion going all these other places. No, you just do exactly what you need to do, and you don't do anything else. That's Tai Chi in a nutshell. You do what you have to do, and you just don't do anything else. From my mind to the dantian, my mind to the dantian, to the ground, back to the mingmen, tanzhong, mingmen again. Okay, questions? Is this clear?
It's clear, but it's not easy.
Well, it will be, it's like learning a new language. At first it's like, it's a little rough, right? But as time goes on, you'll get used to it. Catherine, how many languages do you speak?
Oui.
French, English, and what?
French, English, and Hebrew.
And Hebrew. Okay, that's a lot. I used to speak a little German, but now I basically just speak English, right? But there are people. One of my favorite authors of all times is Izutsu, Teruhiku Izutsu. He spoke 27 languages fluently. He taught ancient Persian to the Iranians, and he was Japanese. He taught at McGill University in Tehran, and he taught ancient Persian to the Persians. All right? That's way beyond me. Tashihiku Izutsu. Just the thought of it makes me want to cough, right? So it will become more second nature. This is just like the baby class right now. Just got to get the basic idea down and get it in a way that's really simple and that allows you to understand the principles in the process so that you can use them. You cannot depend on me to tell you everything because I'm just not going to be there all the time. Yeah, Kevin.
So what I've been trying to do is, if you try to do it like I think most people do, it's from the outside in. If you can just relax enough and listen to your body, you can feel the muscles moving to do this rather than trying to force them to do it. And that's a very interesting feeling when you get that going.
That's exactly right. So another point of this study of silk reeling is to do exactly what Kevin is suggesting, is to reverse the process. Instead of trying to control yourself from above and outside, you're now dancing with yourself from below and inside. And there's a whale of difference between. There's nothing wrong with being up above and controlling yourself. It's just if you don't have the other side, then it just becomes completely unbalanced. You want both skills. So our cultures really focus us on the above and outside way of doing things, because that makes us good workers in the factories. But Tai Chi does just the opposite. Tai Chi and Qigong work your insides from the bottom up. And this is part of that training. So in fact, the two skills complement each other eventually. It's a little awkward at first, but you'll get it. It's natural. Everything that I just described, there's nothing weird about this. It's just going, what is my, if I do this correctly, what am I doing? Right? It's like, oh, I'm watching inside. Watch. I could push this out here. Why do I not just do that? Because it's weak. It's just, you're trying to push out here. If the guy pushes you back, he'll just go like this. Right? What is the, guys, watch this. What is the point of this? What is the point of that? Why are you doing that?
Winding up,
What?
winding up.
Yes, but there's something very specific that you're doing.
You're lowering your elbows.
Lowering your chi.
Yes, you're lowering your chi to where?
Yeah.
Yes, and where else?
Your
The
feet.
ground. You're grounding yourself.
Mhm.
If you're going to push something, you've got to have good contact with the ground. All right? So when you do this, watch my chi. Watch my knees. Watch my ankles. I'm grounding myself so I can push. Now, there's nothing, it's not some weird Taoist thing. It's just the way our bodies work. So your real teacher is you yourself. All right? Figure out what it is you want to do. Figure out what you have to do that, and then watch inside, and you'll see the chi path. Now, it takes a little practice. That's what we're doing in this class, maybe for the next term, is to do that practice. But once you catch on to this, it's the basic the basic skill, the basic mental skill. It's always the same. There's not a million different variations. There's a million different directions, but actually they all work the same way. All right. You're always going to ground yourself. I've told you before, Master Zhang used to say this so often that we all had t-shirts made and everybody in class wore these t-shirts. And what it says was, every movement all the way. Every movement all the way. What does that mean? It means take your time, lower your chi to the ground and ground yourself, and then move. Now, in martial terms, you can't go that slowly. You can't go, excuse me, before I hit you back, I need to ground myself, and then it's got to be almost instant. But as with any other skill, you don't start with instant. You start with really slow and careful, and you practice, practice, practice until it just. In fact, you don't even think about it anymore. You already know, your body knows what you need to do. So you just do it without even thinking about it. Yeah, Kevin.
So it's hard to feel this when you're doing this. I mean, one way to do it is to find a tree or a refrigerator or something and stand in front of it and try to push it with your arms up high without grounding, and then just drop down and then push. And you can feel a big difference. It may not be able to move it, but you can feel it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Find something. Find the wall. The best thing to push is another person. Now, you're not trying to knock them over. You're not trying to hurt them, but ask them and suggest to them, don't stand like this. Stand like this with one foot back so they can take a push without falling over backwards. Put your hands on the shoulders and try it with your chi raised, and then try it with your chi down, and you'll see the difference right away. And you think, well, who would ever push it with their chi up? Trust me, when you get it, when you start actually doing push hands, that's exactly what you're going to do. Everybody does it that way. All right. You've got to learn to lower your chi. Push hands, push hands is a training regime. It's not a fight. Listen to this. It's not a fight. It's not even sparring. It's about training with a training partner. But competition is built into it. It's a chess game no matter what you say. It's your body is still going to see this as a chess game. And when you enter into, even though it's just training, you enter into that, you are going to touch on the on all the things that have to do with conflict. For some people, that's actually quite acute. For other people, it's less acute. But you will always have this come up. And if you have any emotional involvement with this, what does it do when you have emotional involvement? Jill, what does it do when you have emotional involvement in conflict?
Messes you up.
Messes you up, right? Watch my chi. All right. What response is this? All right. That's the fright response. All right. What response is this? That's the flight response. What response is this? It's the freeze response. In all three cases, you're going to raise your chi. And when your chi is raised, now you're top heavy, and you're essentially have made yourself helpless. So you have one of the things that you learn in push hands by just doing it over and over and over and over is not to have those responses. So people that are afraid of snakes can go through a deprogramming sequence where you got a big room, you put that person in a chair, and you put a snake in a cage 40 feet away. For some people, that makes them nervous. All right. The next time they come in, it's 35 feet away, and then 30 feet away, and then 25 feet away, until finally they're handling the snake in their hands. All right. That's the same process that you go through in push hands. Is you learn to do a kind of simulated physical conflict without raising your chi with this. Okay, that's a big aside, right? But this is part of that training. Now, instead of doing this, I want you to do this. All right, now just taking the simpler sort of center of this. I know about the head down to the feet, etc., etc. We'll talk about that. But just look at what's happening with the center and especially with control of the stick. What is this? What is this? What is this? All right, where's the chi?
My back.
Where's my chi? Down low.
Yeah.
Right? You could just say it's in the middle. What did it just do? Where did it just go?
Up here.
And what path did it take to get there? Did it come up the back?
No.
Feel inside yourself. Do it. Feel. Feel. All right, try this one. Now try this one. All right, those are two different motions. This one, we said it's coming up the back to the center of the chest and then back down to the back and you push. What is this one doing?
It's coming in the front
Yes,
like that.
right. It's coming up the renmai. All right. To the Tanjong, and now it's dropping down the back into the lumbar area, into the Mingmen. And you're grounding yourself again, and now you push out from the Mingmen. The two motions, the front, right, or you can say forward and reverse, they work in exactly the same way, but in one, the circle's going one direction, and in the other, the circle's going the opposite direction. Is that clear? Yes. Okay, now put your sticks away. The first move in the form. It's exactly the same as what we just did with the stick. The only difference is you don't have the stick. All right? It's coming up the renmai in front. It's coming up the Renmai in front to the Tanjong. So there's several movements in here. All right. We've been simplifying this, but I'm going to add one more wrinkle in here. From the Dantian to the Tanjong. All right. Now watch. Wow, even more to the Tanjong. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Luanji.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first 4 energies. But what I wanted to focus on was not so much the names, although we need to get to those, but rather the function. What's the function? Why are you doing that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe I can get Annie in here to do a demo. Hold on. Annie? Okay, when you are learning this in a class like with Master Zhang, we would all be doing push hands right now, and we don't have that, and so that's makes things a little more difficult. But in a way, it's really no different than putting this stuff together in Master Zhang's class. Let me tell you, Master Zhang did not break all this stuff down like this. He just did it. He just did it, and 9 out of 10 people never got it. All right? They just didn't put 2 and 2 together. So I want you to watch. You know, Annie is a bad guy. She's a part-time highwayman, all right? Or highwaywoman. Ah, you see what I mean? All right. So she's gonna come up here, and she's gonna choke me, right? What?
Anything to get you to be quiet.
What can you do about it? Well, her elbows are like knobs. Everyone's elbows are like knobs on their arms. So I'm going to do the first move in the form. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have her give me a little pressure. I don't want her to wear herself out. But I'm going to come up under, not right at the elbow, but on the upper arm, on the side of the elbow that's closer to her body. And I'm going to use my own wrists. I'm not trying to grab her. I'm just coming up. Now she's choking me, and she's pushing and going like this. So her energy's already coming in this direction. What I'm going to do is roll the ball. I'm rolling the ball. All right, give me a little energy. I'm rolling the ball. She's already coming in this direction. So what Master Xiang used to say is, you help your opponent do what they want to do. You don't try to stop them, you try to help them. All right? And that seems counterintuitive. Well, you help them at the beginning. All right. So again, she comes at me, and I pull that. That's the first 2 things that we talked about. 1, 2. All right. 1, Pum, Lu. How am I doing that? Well, I'm just filling this and pulling this out. What that will do, what you're actually trying to do, is lift her heels off the ground.
Yeah, well, it happens.
And when she feels that happen, she's going to go, that makes me feel really ungrounded. Now, she won't have time to think that consciously, but unconsciously, she's going to feel that. So, if I'm doing it to her, and she does, she does what I'm talking about, it's going to lift my heels off the ground. What am I going to do? I'm going to start to back up because I want to get my heels back on the ground. It's just an absolutely natural reaction. Everybody does it. Right? Watch her heels, right? She pushes, I pull, she starts to go back. That's when I hit her with this. She's yang, she's yang, she's yang. Now she changes to yin. I'm yin, I'm yin, I'm yin. And when she changes to yin, I change to yang. Right? Thank you. Does this make sense? Every single move in Tai Chi works the same way. Some of them are very complex moves, so they're tricky. This is a nice simple one. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pum, Lu, on, Chi. Raise, turn. Lu is turning. This is turning this way. This is turning this way. So when you do them both at once, it cancels out physically, but energetically, that's still what you're doing. Because you're using the muscles in the same way. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
If you don't know this and you don't practice it, then your Tai Chi is empty. There's nothing going on inside. Not in your mind, not in your emotions, not in your energy. If you do know this and you do practice it, it doesn't have to be perfect, you're just practicing. All right? Now your Tai Chi is full. That little sequence is one yin and yang cycle. And then you're going to go on. Kevin, I don't know, did we finish the form? Did we count them all up?
Oh,
No.
well, we did half of the form, and it's a couple hundred.
Yeah, so there's about 400 yin and yang cycles in this form. And you have to know all of them. And that sounds, oh my God, No, it's very simple. It's just like saying you have 400 breaths. Okay, you're going to breathe in, you're going to breathe out. It's not hard. All right? Breathe in. Breathe out. Whenever you're winding up, you breathe in. Whenever you're hitting, you breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One of the reasons that Tai Chi practice is done slowly is so that you can just breathe naturally. And your breath doesn't become labored or doesn't become too fast and you hyperventilate. In actual combat, you're not going to breathe slowly. You're not going to move slowly. But in practice, you are. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want that breathe in and breathe out to be comfortable. All right? That's why things are done at the pace that they're in. It's a training regime. It's not how you're going to do it in the real world under pressure, but it's the training. Now, suppose you all were in China and we're at one of the big tournaments and you're going to do this form. And there's going to be a panel of 3 judges watching you. What do you think they're watching for? They're watching to see whether you understand this. It's not about your physical gymnastics. It's about whether your inside matches your outside. You can do it very gently. What makes it beautiful is the harmony, the inner the harmonizing of the inside and the outside. And the secret to doing that is to understand what we've just talked about. If you go on to the next yin and yang cycle, there's 1. There's 2. Okay, what's going on with 2? All right. You pushed out here, and now you relax. Relax to where? Yeah, base of the spine. Now, where's the chi going? It's going up the back, over the top of the head, and down the front. So this one's very simple. It's just up the back, down the front. If you are thinking that, and maybe thinking is the wrong word, but if you are feeling that, and then it will lead your chi in that pattern. If you're gonna do that in real life, it's gonna look like this. All right? But this isn't real life. This is practice. All right? So it's up the back, down the front. Now, where is it going? Now, where's it going? 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 Boom. So there's 3 circles there. 1, 2, 3. It never stops. From the moment the form starts to the moment it ends, it's moving continuously. It never stops. Sometimes it slows way, 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 way down, but it never stops. Watch. The places where it slows down are the transitions. Watch. Right here. It doesn't stop, but it slows way down. It's going, and then it begins to go back the other direction. That's a transition. transition, 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 boom. But the basic thing you're doing is always the same. Here's where the three directions come in. I'll finish saying this and then we'll pick it up here again tomorrow. So this is where Jill's question came in about Li, Shu, and Ping. All right. Reverse Li circle, push out. Forward Li circle, pull down. Reverse Li circle, press down. Clockwise Shu circle and push out. Counterclockwise Shu circle and press down. And a clockwise Ping circle. All right? Has to do with how you're moving in space. That's obviously a very important consideration, but it's a little bit different than what's exactly happening inside yourself. Right? This third circle, after we pull down, this third circle, where's it going? Where's it going? Where's it going? Where does it end up? Right? It's coming up the front. It's going through at the level of the solar plexus. It's going through the body, and now it's going down the back. Boom. So is this all plain? Plain and simple. We're going to go through the whole form like this. Not to memorize the form, but to train you to see this in all its different manifestations. Li, Shu, Ping, and lots of combinations. Once you've got that, you've got the key to really understanding Tai Chi. Because Tai Chi, in America, everybody thinks Tai Chi is about the outer choreography of the physical body. It's not. It's about harmonizing the outer choreography of the physical body with the inner choreography of the mind and the energy body. All right, any questions? All right, we'll pick it up there tomorrow and we'll move into the Shu circles. All right? Have a good day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.